GH, the Cancer Era. Symbolic translations. The Cancer Era. Kankerstop. A special way to look at cancer and cancer prevention. Life is looking into a magical mirror. By Toro the Decoder. Intro. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Whatever we experience is a reflection of what lives within. Let us first look back through the corridors of history and witness the great local and global diseases that have visited humanity. The plague and the pestilence arose when too many humans crowded themselves into unhealthy man-made environments. People becoming a plague and pest to themselves, to each other, and to nature. Tuberculosis appeared when we began taking our own breath away through overexertion and overdoing. Polio emerged when the entire society felt crippled by circumstances. When we feel there is no future, eyesight diseases come to the surface, such as glaucoma and cataracts and total blindness. Leprosy whispered the inner cry, "Let me rot away, for I am not worthy." The times of World War I and II being a very hard time, people having to work hard in hard conditions, suppressing emotions and thus bypassing the heart, and heart diseases up till today being one of the major causes of death. SARS and COVID arrived, carrying the message that we are the virus, the thieves, to ourselves, to others, and the planet. The suffocation on so many levels, and individuals dying, suffocating. Us now living in a world stressed out, but no time for healing, but mostly taking medications to be able to continue, and many individuals dying from the side effects of these medications. Not to forget removing or replacing sick organs and the rat race to get back as soon as possible to the life that created all the diseases. And then there are the so-called normal problems of aging. Is it perhaps that we grow deaf because we no longer wish to hear? That our vision dims because we no longer wish to see? The appetite fades because the taste for life has gone. Dementia, could it be the refusal to face, to think, to remember? Of course, there are endless other connections and reasons for anything that happens, or better said, giving us messages and wake-up calls. Why this person? Why that moment? I call it the sum total, the accumulation of all that came before, the individual memory, the family memory, the community memory, the national memory and the collective memory of humanity. From this angle, let us now look at cancer and the two foundational connections I give to it. But first, let us consider the definition. Cancer, a disease caused by an uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in a part of the body. Again, let me return to the truth that all we experience is a reflection from within. Nothing outside can exist unless it already exists inside. And by inside, I mean the mind, the universal shopping mall of reality, the mortal world of thoughts, desires, associations, attachments, and identifications. So even cancer is already within us, but it does not need gain dominance until we create the conditions for it, especially through the modern life we have built on competing and comparing, consuming and wanting more, and in the process, consuming the health of ourselves, others, and the world. The two foundations. The first cancer foundation. We live in a world that has become abnormal on nearly every level. Look at what we eat, what we listen to, what we watch, what we think, and what we do. Is this not all abnormal? Is it not a reflection of cancer, cells in the body beginning to imitate the abnormality of the world around them? The second cancer foundation. In the Dutch language, kanker and kankeren mean to complain. And is that not what most of us are addicted to? Complaining about everything and everyone? Is this not another form of abnormal behavior? When I talk about complaining, it is also about the subtle complaints we show in reacting, or always commenting, having to say something. This rabbit hole goes deep. Simultaneously, we give very little life to the body, to others, or to the world. Most of what we do takes life, drains life, or steals life. We deplete our own reservoir, the reservoir of others, and the reservoir of nature. It does not need to be diagnosed as cancer. There are endless ways we take life from ourselves, and the body speaks through its organs, symptoms, and systems, each carrying a message. Most of these messages point back to our abnormal way of living. The root cause of it all. At the root of it all is fear, the opposite of love. Love is kindness, service, care, contentment, acceptance, reflecting, and adaptation without expectation. Here we must look deeper into fear, into the two cancer foundations, and into the ways we feed, circulate, and support the cancer addictions of modern life. Instead of adding to this cancer world we have created, we can begin to diminish it. Before we continue, let us address the question that arises so often. Why do even young children face cancer? Everything and everyone is connected. When we just would look differently through another pair of eyes, the eyes of oneness, on a worldly level we would see no spaces between anything, nor would we see anything separate. Air, water, heat and earth, and just think about air and water molecules, or the endless sounds inside us, inside nature, the wind and other man-made communications. All is connected and interconnected. We need not speak of karma or genetics. Connection alone is enough. One single positive or negative thought affects everything within the body and everything around us, including the world and the universe. Every thought becomes a memory for that moment and the future. Let us help create a different world for the next generation. We may look at the enormous work and the changes that need to be done. But let me share a question and answer to this question and see that just one positive thought and step is already very powerful. The mystic was asked the question, how long will the creation continue to exist? His answer, as long as there is one positive thought, creation will continue to exist. Or in other words, one positive thought is more powerful than all the negative thoughts combined. Something to think about. Was the creation not created with eternal love through one thought or word, so to speak? Let's start the art of not adding. From abnormal to normal behavior. Here we can begin helping, not by adding more, but by possibly not adding at all. To move from abnormal to normal behavior, we must first understand that normal is not the same as the norm. The norm is merely the average expression of an already abnormal, overstimulated, overreactive humanity. Let us instead look towards our basic needs and the true necessities of life. When we return to what is essential, we naturally begin to live differently, more natural rather than unnatural, more aligned with the quiet rhythm of life rather than the noise of modern existence. This journey asks us to go deeper, deeper into our faith, deeper into the inner chamber where the human being remembers its original nature. It invites us to explore in detail how to live as a human being, and not merely as a human reactive, performing, competing, comparing, achieving, doing, consuming, and endlessly exhausting itself. To live as a human being is to live from presence, from awareness, from the still point where love, simplicity, and natural discipline arises without force. It is a return to the essence that has always been waiting beneath the layers of habit, fear, and expectation. The Cancer Unbuilding Blocks or Pillars. Cancer and the 5 C's. To stop the cancer, both the cancer of body and the cancer of our modern way of living, we begin by dissolving the 5 C's. Stop comparing. Stop competing. Stop consuming. Stop complaining. Stop controlling. Could it be said any simpler? Every action and thought and word and deed becomes part of this sacred mission. For the more we try to control, the more we discover that everything we attempt to control controls us. The grip tightens both ways. Cancer and the ARA. To unbuild the inner and outer cancer, we shift from resistance to receptivity, from outward pointing to inward seeing, from reaction to adaptation. A. Accepting. Stop resisting life. Let's face what we need to face. Begin accepting what is, without surrendering our dignity or our direction. R. Reflecting. Stop pointing outwards. Turn the mirror towards ourselves and witness the truth within, where we can start shifting and changing. A. Adapting. Stop reacting and move from the victim to victory. Start adapting gently, fluidly, without expectation, like water finding its way around stone. For as long as we have expectations, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Cancer, from the I have to I am. To make changes regarding the inner and outer cancer, we must first claim full responsibility, otherwise nothing will change. Likewise, going to an AA meeting and starting the process of getting away from alcohol. It is by claiming and saying, I am an alcoholic. It is the same with cancer and changing from I have this or that cancer to I am. and possibly symbolically decoding the confrontation, and by doing so, getting another perspective, but especially claiming responsibility and hopefully becoming highly involved in shifting and changing many patterns. The lungs. I am taking my own breath away. The bones. I am taking down or away my physical foundation. The large intestines. I am trying to control and hold on to and not letting go. Blood and circulation. I am circulating something not positive and vital within myself and towards others and the world. Prostate. I am drying myself up and out, not dancing with life anymore. The womb. I am drying up and are of no use anymore. We bring new life into the world with every thought, word, and deed. To move with change, the most constant fact of life is to invite new life, new breath, new adventure. Change is not the enemy, change is the doorway. The beginning of change in the Cancer Era. These practices, the 5 C's, the ARI and the I am, can be the first steps towards transforming the Cancer Era. But more is needed, for our entire way of living has been built on competing and comparing and achieving and performing. This conditioning begins in the home where we grow up, continues in the schools we attend, and becomes the foundation of adult life. To truly change, we need a total shift, a different kind of education, not merely how to make a living, but how to live. This path is called the basics of life science, for it is a journey of proving truths to ourselves through direct experience, while continuing a new and different education, an education that restores the natural, the essential, the human. The basics of life science. You can find these teachings in the YouTube channel dedicated to it, The Magical University of Life, with many playlists and 6 additional YouTube channels, an education for a lifetime, delivered through the world of fantasy, where imagination becomes a way to inner understanding. And when you are already confronted with the cancer label, it may be wise to continue listening and reading with an open heart. The video Wake Up Call, Cancer and Disease offers many ways to empower yourself, not as a replacement for the treatments that have come onto your path, but as a companion to them, a way to strengthen and empower yourself and to become an active part in the healing of the self and the world at large. When you want to know more about the symbolic decoding of any message of imbalance, just look at the other playlists on this channel.